Welcome to Semper Hooah podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to Semper Hooah podcast in the field, on the range, in a laundry room.
In the barracks.
All right. What are we doing?
Living life.
Me and Petey, drill weekend with Jonesy behind the stick. We're going to have some guests coming on. We're going to be throwing these episodes out like crazy throughout the season. Yep. Check us out now on Spotify. We've got some video action going on there. And like I said, we're going to have a bunch of different guests to see how it goes. Mm-hmm. All right. Just give the DOD spiel.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, all views and opinions are not expressed of the DOD or any governmental agency.
Or maybe they are.
Maybe they are.
All right, guys. Enjoy the show. It smells like shit in here.
It does. Yeah. There's an actual septic line break somewhere.
It's pretty rough here. By the way, listeners, viewers, if it sounds like shit or looks like shit, it's because we're in the field and, it's our mobile setup and the first time doing this.
So
it smells like shit.
It does smell like shit.
It smells like shit.
It does look like shit, too. Our guest today is...
The Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby.
Thank you.
Gatsby, how's it going, bud?
It's going good, man. I'm fucking tired out of my mind. I think I'm off of like 3 hours of sleep at most past 3 days.
Convoy commander today, too. Took a nice detour today.
Yeah, man.
Right.
They just dropped it on me. And,
Hey, it's the way the GPS told me, man.
Hey, man, look.
Look, I got a strip map in one hand.
They told me I needed to get here, point A to point B. That's what happened, all right?
To get a little background, you were active duty before you joined the reserves with me and Petey here.
Yeah, so
what'd you do?
I was active, but prior to that, I actually started in the Guard when I was 17.
Oh, okay. So you were...
Were you a split ops person?
No. I just...
Delay entry?
Dude, I wanted to be in the military since I was like 11. And then from 11, my parents were like, we're not signing shit unless you join the Guard or the reserves or whatever. So I looked into the reserves for the Marines or fucking Guard, whatever the fuck they have. And
Reserves?
Is it the reserves?
Yeah, they have a Guard program, yeah.
So I was looking into that, and what caught my attention for the Army is that at the time, the Army had a better chance of you choosing your MOS.
Okay.
So that was the only difference that made me choose the Army over the Guard.
Hashtag facts.
Or the Marines, yeah.
And which MOS was this?
91 Bravo.
Oh, yes. Good old 91 Bravos. For those listeners that don't know what a 91 Bravo is, it is a...
Wheeled vehicle mechanic.
There it is.
Dude,
good old mechanics.
Yeah.
Oh. Only to realize in the reserves, you don't actually get to work on the trucks.
I don't think I've touched any piece of equipment.
Right.
No, yeah. So I wanted it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I joined when I was 17, and then my whole thing was as soon as I turned 18, finished fucking basic and AIT, I was going to switch active, and that took me about 2 years total just to get over. Yeah.
Now, was it the whole aspiration of changing it over to like a civilian career as far as doing wheeled vehicle mechanic? That's like, hey, then I'm going to go to like Lincoln Technical and get my ASC certification or something.
Oh, I did none of that shit. No. What happened was when I was getting out, I did want to continue a path in mechanics, and it was just kind of crunch time. I just wanted out immediately. So I said, fuck SFL tab. For those of you who don't know, that's the couple months prior before you get out. You take all these classes, these certifications. They can line you up with a career. And I just fuck all that. Give me my DD-214. Let me get out. And I was an idiot for that. However, I did get a civilian job as a forklift servicer mechanic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that job was a scam.
Okay, do tell.
Let me tell you, yeah. So I go in there, they hire me. They're like, oh, I'm also a veteran as well. I'm like, cool, we have some type of relation, so I'm going to get this job. They're like, yeah, the only thing is we want to pay you $30 an hour, but we're going to start you off at 19. And then after 90 days, we'll get you in, we'll get you that extra pay, and we're good. So I was like, cool. I should have noticed there was red flags when there was like only one other long-time mechanic there. And everyone else was like, yeah, they didn't make it. They didn't make it past 89 days. I was like, oh, I got this. And then on my 89th day, I drove 2 hours to work. And they're like, hey, you're not qualified enough. Which was bullshit because I'm like, I did this for 8 years. Fuck you. And all I had to do was like change oil, change air filters, and park the fucking forklift.
Oh, okay.
Oh, these are big forklifts then.
Big
Oh, yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drop their name because fuck them. But the forklifts go side, up and down, and do a bunch of cool electrical shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So active duty, you were where at?
First, I went to Korea. I spent about a year and a half out there.
Korea. All right. Let's talk about the
DUIs, Korean wife,
DUIs came after.
tailored suits.
But the name Gatsby came out there. That's where I got the name. What happened was they would tell us like, hey, don't give people your information. Don't give them your numbers. Yeah.
All right.
So we came up with fake names, and mine, because I loved to party and we loved hanging out and getting drunk, it was the Gatsby, because I loved to throw barracks parties. We'd fill up an entire fridge with soju, which out there is about $1.50. So we just spend $30-$40 filling up a fridge. I
like it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, blackout every weekend. It was a problem.
Fantastic. Go on.
Yeah. And but it started off just going into a club, and my friend was an alcoholic, and what we would do is we would take off our shirts and get on stage and start dancing. Mm-hmm. So the club owners seen this, and they're like, we like you guys get the crowd, going. So he offered to get us into all his clubs for free, just as long as, we keep performing like that.
Sure.
So essentially I was a pole dancer.
Yeah, VIP.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. And then they gave us free alcohol, free entry, and that was my life for like 6 months.
Nice.
That was
That's hey, sounds like a good time.
Right.
Yeah. So
Love it. All right. So after that, what happened, bud?
I didn't get arrested. We did get detained a couple times. One of the times by the Korean police.
All right. I was gonna. Okay.
Yeah. So
how's that work over there when you get so detained by them? Because being in Germany, like I avoided all that shit as possible to get arrested by the local police, because I'm like, fuck this shit. So
I'm not getting my ass whooped by the Germans.
But yeah, if you're my country, he went through this problem.
So,
but
God, that's a deep backstory. But it's just, long story short, we joined forces with the Marines out there, and at some point we're like, let's go out and party. We finally like each other. We're a team. Let's go out and party. We did that, and God, I need to come up with fake names for these guys. But we had one underage guy, one guy who just got his P status to sergeant, and then we had one Korean dude. And we were just, and one prior infantry Marine guy, and he was fucking buck wild, of course, as they come. Mm-hmm. We're leaving the bar. Our underage guy is obliterated, and he's getting to that point where he just gets quiet, and you're just like, fuck, keep an eye on him. We're leaving, and this local gives him a dirty look, and he gets pissed off, and he just walks over to him, and we pull him off. We get him in the car. We try to calm him down. So we put on Making My Way Downtown. Yeah. And we're pulling out of the driveway. Our DD, right, our Korean dude, he's a DD. He hasn't drank anything, or so we thought. We're screaming at the top of our lungs out the window. And I look over, and there's a Korean police officer with a flashlight in his face, and this guy's blowing into a breathalyzer. Mm-hmm. So we're like, cut the music, stop, record scratch. He pulls him out of the car. Another Korean police officer gets in, drives the car across the street. We're like, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. He does it. Obviously, we have no power there. And we get out the car, and we're worried. This guy just got his P status, or his promotable status, and this other guy's underage. So me and this other Marine look at each other, and we're just like, you know what? We'll take the hit. And we tell these guys, just run away. Just go back and let us know when you get there. And then they call our LT while they're leaving, like, hey, these guys need help over here. Can you guys come pick them up?
Sure.
Meanwhile, me and this prior Marine, we're a bad duo because we have a God complex when we're drunk. So we walk over to the police, and we're like, you guys can't arrest our friend. And they're like, no, yeah, he's drunk or whatever, and he's drinking and driving. So we're like, no, like he's coming with us, and we try to pick him up, and he's not, obviously, like our friend, he's being cooperative. We're not. And then they're like, okay, well, we need his ID, and this guy hands over his ID, and we snatch it, and we're like playing keep away from the from the police. And they're like, no, give it to us. And they start like getting in our face. Now, usually when I'm with this Marine guy, he's the wild one. I'm the good cop. He's the bad cop. But for some reason, I was just on it that day. I was just, the cop was on the curb and just staring at me. And I'm just like, yeah, man. Yo, why the fuck is this guy looking at me? And after that, it just escalates because now my friend's like, yeah, why is this guy looking at him? So I get on the curb. I'm like, you think you're fucking tough because you're taller than me? I'm not even insecure about my height. But I'm just like, yeah, I need to go off on this guy. And then we see them like giving our friend this clear liquid coming out of a green bottle. And we're like, that's not water. You guys are trying to get him more drunk. And then we take away that and we're like, let me taste it. And then we taste it. We're like, yeah, it's water. He could drink it. And just like calm down.
It was just like
atmosphere.
Perrier.
Yeah. So they put handcuffs on him. And then we're like, no, take that off. Again, God complex. We think we run this shit. And then they put us in handcuffs. And then we turn around. And our LT's walking up. We're like, oh, Dad's here. And we calm the fuck down. We're like, sir, this guy, he's being an asshole to us. Please stop him. And he talks to him. I don't know how the fuck he learned Korean, but he knew it, and he was talking to him fluently. They took the handcuffs off of us, and he's like, go wait in the back of the car. Shut the fuck up. And we go in the back there like kids, and we're just looking out the back window like, oh, my God, what is he telling them? And we're like, you know what? You think he'll take us to McDonald's right now?
It really wasn't chicken nuggets.
And we're just like sitting there, and he starts walking over, and we just get quiet, and it's just a quiet ride home. Like I swear to God, like we're fucking kids.
Right.
We're like, so what's happening to him? And they're like, well, he's actually gonna get to go home, but they're gonna fine him, whatever, and he's breaking it down. And as we're driving back, he takes a weird turn around the block, and we see the golden arches. And we're like, no fucking way. Do we ask him? This is the only time.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah, and we're drunk out of our mind. So then he goes in, pulls into the park, and we're like, dude, I think he's going to get us McDonald's. He goes in, he orders his meal, and he looks at us, and then he just drives, gets his shit, and then we're like, you could see the disappointment on our face. He's like, what, did you guys think that you guys were going to get McDonald's right now? And we're like, well, we're hungry, yeah. You know? And we're drunk, so we're saying whatever the fuck.
Right.
And then he drops us off. He's like, we're going to deal with you guys later. And we had to stand in front of the sergeant major, and he was just like, why'd you let him drive? And we're like, in our defense, we had no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean,
we just wanted some nanus.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we got chewed out, but everyone's been chewed out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's like every time I got my ass chewed off, it's always grown back bigger. That's why I'm
Thing's
big skin,
fucking
big skin,
delicious.
Yeah. Dump truck. Man.
all this
Ew.
cake.
Damn. All right, dude. So, Korea sounded
Wild.
It was wild.
Like a
I'm
blast.
glad I went there when I was younger. You know.
Yeah.
So if I did that now.
Yeah, you
especially-
look like an old man.
Yeah, I fucking feel like it, man. I have a knee brace on right now.
But I like the rifle, though. You're sporting the rifle. Thank you for
Accountability.
Yeah,
you know.
we didn't do that.
No, I was.
They don't let me touch weapons around here anymore.
I actually found this on the
You
street.
can sodomize a weapon only so many times, OG.
Yes. All right, so after
Korea.
Yeah.
I came back to the States, and I went to Fort
Twice.
Bliss.
Ooh, Bliss. You know who else was at Bliss?
His dad.
My dad.
1984.
81 to 84.
What was
Bright
it?
Star 80.
Bright Star 84, yes.
We were attached to
Guy
special
talks about
forces.
this goddamn mission.
Is it just one mission the whole time?
Yeah.
Have we talked about this already?
Yeah.
All right, we're not.
We did a lot of things in White Sands Missile Range, but then we did this Bright Star 84 exercise in Death Valley.
Was he like the commander's driver? Or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, because he was the RDO, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, so Bliss. Let's talk more about that.
Yeah.
How fun was that?
And let me guess, you were with an 88 unit.
No, I came from an 88 unit in Korea, but I did spend my weekends with my friends from an 88 unit.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
souls go to die, like my dad.
Yeah.
That's where our livers went to die. I would go up to White Sands Missile Range every weekend.
Yeah, this is easy. Is the golf course still there?
Yeah, I've been drunk on there a couple times. Yeah, we had a.
fucking Pete's dad's name like carved
Yeah.
and shit.
right. No, it's right at the border check-in in Juarez when he
yeah.
had the Mexican girlriend.
donkey shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, enjoy some range
Water.
tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
Actually,
Bliss.
I had a drinking club out there.
So Bliss was a good time, or no? Didn't seem like
No,
a good
it
time.
was
Didn't seem
so
like a good time.
depressing.
Yeah, I bet.
I got in trouble for so much shit, and at some point I moved out of the barracks with my own money, just because it was depressing just
too
living
much.
in there. 100%.
Yeah.
And what I learned there was that either your top chain of command, so like your first sergeant, your CO, they're always the best leaders, and then the rest is just shit.
Mm.
Or inverted, where like the commander and the first sergeant suck, and then the rest of the chain of command is like top tier.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean shit because you know.
Right. They'll get stomped on anyway.
Yeah.
And how long were you over there?
3, maybe 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And got the fuck out.
Got the fuck out immediately. That's where I got my DUI.
Those happen. That's okay.
Yeah. You were trying to make sergeant.
It's the only way to do it. Yeah.
But then you take a little sabbatical right before, in between joining the reserves, or what was the time frame before you came over to the softer side of the Army?
Oh, damn, let me see. So I took a long ass, terminal leave, and the reason for that is because they just never approved my shit. And by the time I took my leave, they had that COVID law where it's like, hey, you don't have the use or lose, you just keep your days. So I took about 180 days of leave.
Nice.
Yeah, just
Fucking love it.
several months. And prior to me even using that, my wife got pregnant. So we took the...
Congrats. Who's the daddy?
Thank you. I think it's on.
I thought you were gay the whole time. All right, never mind.
Sometimes it just depends on the weather,
Nose ring.
weather permitting.
We'll get into your grooming standards here in a second. I love it. But
So she got pregnant. I got my paternity leave, and then right the day after, I started my terminal leave.
Love it.
Yeah, and it was
Stacking leave.
and then then reserve time. What were we talking about here in length between after leave there to getting to us?
October to, honestly, it didn't take that long. I think it took about 3-4 months.
Wow, you're fast. So you were really fresh with it. Okay. I had a feeling because you came in you're like, what the fuck is going on? Right? Reserves is a little different, right?
I was
It's a little
fucking
trippy.
confused, yeah.
But yet, we were getting a second here about the beard,
Yeah.
which you're allowed to rock, which
beautiful.
we
Thank
get,
you.
we're a little jealous around here because you get to rock it because of,
I thought it's kind of patchy, though.
It's
like,
fine.
It's the thing that Sergeant Major Grinston, Sergeant Major of the Army, is worried about.
Is he going to come in patchy?
Right.
Same,
Like, I want it fucking full as shit,
Yeah.
Viking as fuck, like Jonesy when he gets it.
That's right. Looking like Krieger.
You Nazi fuck.
Remember that one time he showed up after a clean shave? It's like, Jonesy, you dropped your chin.
We love you, buddy. But yeah, so you got that religious exemption, bro.
I do, yeah. And it's because I'm Mexican, a lot of people were like, nah, he's lying. He's full of shit.
He's not Catholic.
Yeah.
Because I even asked him, like,
Right.
because I'm trying to figure it out.
How I came across
Yeah,
it, or
well,
what?
no, well, a little bit of that. I mean,
Yeah, tell us your process and how are you claiming your religious exemption?
Yeah.
Right?
I just I went for it. I found 2 other soldiers that were about it as well, and we just kind of clung together. But the way I found, or I dove into the religion, is that I would see just little things, and I guess it was subliminal. And I just, once I found out that it was like, oh, it's Norse belief, I kind of was like, oh, let me dive into this.
Oh, so
But
are
religion
you
is-
following Norse paganism then?
Yeah, I claim heathenism, but
Oh,
paganism
okay.
is the same thing.
Sure.
The only reason I like to
You're heathen. I like
know,
it.
yeah.
It's so hot.
And
There's
it's
a difference between hedonism and heathen.
Whatever. It sounds the same to me.
it's
Words matter.
but it was, what was I saying that?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't fucking know. The only reason I claim heathen over pagan, I feel like a lot of pagans like, no, there was like no Jesus, there's no God. My weird twist is that I believe that the Hebrew God is just another God that's out there, and he's fucking selfish. And sorry if I'm offending anyone, but I feel like he wants to be the only one known.
That's what we do in this show. We love
Yeah.
offending.
So
Well, but it's also your belief and your position.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
shit,
like-
you're fucking fighting for it.
exactly,
You know,
and it's
in
like
this uniform, right?
there's only one. It's just like, come on.
Being Mexican, though, I just thought you were Catholic, and then you tell me you dropped the shit that you were actually Protestant before that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
was-
So many years
like,
ago
how
when I
many-
was at an apartment, right?
Yeah.
Like I said a Jew joke, and it wasn't anything like really offensive or whatever else. But the Chicago guy that used to hang out in our station all the time, he's like, "I'm a Jew." I'm like, "Dude, you're from Mexico." Like, I don't know of any Mexican Jews. Sure enough, there's a whole
there's a lot
Jewish
of them, yeah.
enclave.
There is.
So one time I'm hanging out at his house, and like I don't know if you know, like a lot of Jewish people like have what is it, the tablets or something like that in their doorway.
I don't know.
So as-
Jones?
I don't know what the
Jones,
fuck
you know
that
about that?
Ah, fuck.
He's not that kind of Jew.
Worst Jew ever. But it's like, he goes and he kisses it, and I'm like, oh my God, you really are a Jew, because they have this thing where it's
Yeah.
like they have the tablets, and upon entering, it's word of God or whatever. Like, whoa, like you're legit, right?
Straight off from you being Protestant, and I thought you'd be Catholic. And sorry, live studio audience over here. Tell J-Bot to fuck off. So you found this religion how?
You said you were seeing things.
Yeah, no, it's a
And not on
fucking.
drugs.
No, not on drugs. It was fucking crazy as shit.
Have you been hospitalized before?
Well,
Okay.
No. We're just busting.
So what it was is I finally did get, like, out of my entire Army career, I only had one time where I was actually on leave, and I was going home. It was at Fort Bliss, and I went to White Sands to say bye to everybody, and then I ended up staying a little bit too long, and I left at around 12. Didn't drink because I had a long ass ride.
Sure.
1 million chance that I didn't drink, right? But didn't drink. I had a long ass ride, and I started taking off. And I start heading through Roswell, and then my next stop was going to be Ruidoso, where I was going to refuel.
And let me guess, you started seeing things in Roswell.
No, right before
Okay.
that.
Oh,
Like,
no, I'm just making a story here.
And it's like
Swamp gas.
Right.
and it's very foresty over there. It's very green, but there's also a lot of natives in New Mexico. So when I pull over, I'm trying to get like maybe like 30 minutes of nap time. I'm like, you know what? Let me make sure I'm not on anyone's land.
Sure.
So what I do is I pull over and I flash my high beams. Shit, I look up and there's this like fucking giant ass elk deer, like bigger than anything fucking else. It's not a normal size. It's as big as the wood line.
Sure.
And it's just pure black and like white eyes, not glowing eyes, but white eyes. And I was like, fuck that. I'm awake now. Let's go to Roswell. And I just drove for like 2 more hours till I got out there. God damn, I can't fucking talk.
It's okay. We forgive you.
But after that, I just like, it was like, all right, whatever. Moved on from it. And then I seen the movie The Ritual. Have you guys seen that?
No, I haven't got that.
Couple guys, they plan a trip based off their friends' like dying wish. They go through the forest and they start seeing this shit. But when I seen the demon deity, it was the same shit. So I'm like, what the fuck is this thing that like I've seen it again? So I look it up.
So I can understand, was the elk the demon deity?
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's called the if I'm pronouncing it right, Jotun.
Okay.
So it's Jotunn.
Jonesy, can you look this up if you can? I know.
Yeah,
internet's spotty.
it's a Norse pagan term for giant.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
He's on.
Yeah.
Jonesy on the spot.
And it was, I looked it up, and it's basically like this god that will grant you like your wishes, and it's usually like, hey, like eternal life. But the thing is, it comes with a cost. The monkey paw effect.
Sure.
Right. So it's like you grow old, but you don't die, but your body still deteriorates, or like
Sounds miserable.
Yeah. And then like you lose an arm and it doesn't grow back, and you're bleeding out, but you're just like old, and it's not a good life until you take your own life. And then
Sure.
you're, like, you're
It's
over
the
it.
blessing is the curse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and I looked that up. I'm like, that's weird. What religion is this? And I looked into it, and I dove into it, and I just submerged myself into it, and I loved it because it was, it's classified as like a religion with the Army, but I feel like it's more of a belief system, because you could believe however you want.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's people that are gonna watch this and be like, no, that's not, and then they all have their own version of it.
Technically, you could do that with like
Anything,
any religion,
yeah.
really,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like, I do that with Christianity all the time.
Right.
I think Jesus was a
drank.
stoner, and I like his style.
Well, it's
Ooh,
like
I
the
fuck
one
with it.
time where I gave up Catholicism for Lent. I just forgot to go back.
Yeah. Enjoy. All right. So how long have you been part of this religion?
Jeez, fucking 2-3 years.
Okay.
Okay.
And so
Yep.
you get this exemption because it's part of it to grow the beard, and all it is just whipping up.
Now, let me
Paperwork on it,
just
yeah.
understand a little bit more, because like I know, for example, Sikhs, right? They're not Muslims because they're not wearing
Yep.
they wear a turban and stuff, right? Part of their religion is like cutting off the hair is actually like sacrilege against the body, which they believe is also very valued and part of
Exactly.
their spiritual things. That similar thing with the Norse.
So it's so there's different turns on it, and I love every aspect of it, where it's the way that the gods intended you to be.
Okay.
That's your purest form. That's your beard, and then it also represents you as a person, where it's just like you're well groomed, you're kept. A lot of people believe that.
Patchy beard.
Yeah, of course, that's for style. Those are style points.
Sure.
Sure.
So cold.
Yeah.
It's an even tan effect. That's what it is. But a lot of people believe that the Nordic people were just Slavs and didn't take care of themselves. But then you find out that people are digging up relics where they were taking care of themselves. They were showering. They were cleaning. That people.
Yeah, there was like combs and like artifacts and shit like that.
They would
hygiene products.
shit in another part of the land and nowhere near where they would actually bathe and drink.
Right.
Where's
So-
J-Bot?
The initial
those
field
people that.
sanitation team.
The original FST.
Yeah, they
right?
unionized.
Yeah.
And it represents you. The other thing is it's an extension of your spirit as well.
Okay.
You know, I believe my Jewish peers, they believe that it's a connection between your mind and your spirit.
Okay.
So I also love that aspect of it, and I kind of stole that from them. And the beard does overall represent, you know, who you are.
Got real deep with this shit.
No, yeah, it was pretty funny because like one of the very senior NCOs that we have, I remember the first time like he saw him, he was like, "What the fuck?" Like he's like, and then I think he got put in his place once he found it.
Let him be a shitbag, jeez.
Right.
I earned this, right, man?
Because like the first couple BAs, he's like not even in uniform. Like, who the fuck is this?
I love this
future soldier
dude,
or
I
some
was
shit.
I was like, I love this kid.
Like,
He's
no,
like, not even
guy's active, dude.
I remember he eyeballed me in formation. He's just like, look, even if you're not soldiers yet, or we should shave.
Right.
And he looked at me. I'm like, I see you, man. Like,
I've been a soldier forever.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I earned my rights.
I got my rights. I got my rights.
You're
So
welcome
you
for my
basically,
service.
So basically, you go up to you go to commander, fucking fill out a form, say, hey, this is how I want to keep this beard.
So it's iffy. We had came close to actually getting it finalized, and the way I understand that it happened the first time was, it did get approved, but they signed off on it the day after they had changed one little thing. So we had it for a good month, and then they were like, hey, you guys need to redo it. So the first time it was just going up to the chaplain saying, hey, I want this. He said, is it on your records? And I said, yep, it states heathen, and it's on my record. And then he interviewed me, and he's like, good, you're good to go. Like, yeah, your shit checks out.
So you actually have to like.
Oh, yeah,
prove
he interviewed.
all right, like you have to do like
Yeah. So he
Can't
interviewed.
just say, like,
You know,
hey.
like during SRP or
Dude,
once a year.
I don't know shit about my religion, and what if I
Well,
had to
yeah,
go in
no,
there?
but I'm just saying,
So
like,
that's the thing. See, that's the thing. Like everyone's like, oh, I wish like I had some type of thing. If you look into most religions, they all say the same shit
Right.
about like don't shave your facial hair. That's your purest form.
Is it really saying Catholicism?
Dude, yeah,
well,
it
because
does,
again,
yeah.
if you look into like even New
push that.
Testament and even Old Testament, that
Yeah.
we believe in, right? Like your body is a temple. They didn't
Jones,
say
you
it's a
looked at it.
church is Satan or whatever.
Yeah.
And also start filling out the paperwork for me.
Yeah. Range cock.
So that's crazy. All right, I got to look into more of that because I fucking really want to. I
Yeah.
don't even want a beard. I want just a handlebar mustache. Is really what I want at all times.
And the funny thing is, so when they made the
God, it smells like shit here. Sorry.
sorry, that's the problem. It's
no,
my
it's not
shoes,
even
man.
you.
No,
It's
you
really-
can see the
It's
septic
the
issue that
septic
we
issue
started
we
to
got
seep
here.
in here.
In the field.
We're actually hallucinating. None of this is real.
Yeah.
Um,
I like religion, bro. Give me that vape, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, pass me the vape. Go on.
He needs to smell something else other than shit.
yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
That's how you get COVID, folks.
That's right.
Oh, is that watermelon?
Apple.
Apple.
The posh green apple. We're not sponsored, but I love your shit.
All right. Well, you got anything else for him really quick here?
No, like what I love, and I don't know like how you see yourself fitting in and stuff like that, but it's like, man, your boss is a dipshit. But like I appreciate you coming in and like grabbing your shot by the balls and being like, no, this is what right looks like, right? And fixing, because I love process and workflows and things that make sense and helping soldiers get the job done.
Yeah.
And you help move that along. And I appreciate that about you. So keep doing that stuff. And, you know,
Yeah,
you have a lot of potential, you know, to
You're a good Joe.
right
Definitely good Joe.
that shop that's been wrong for so many years.
I appreciate that, yeah. And I think my original, my head overall, my platoon daddy, Sergeant Brumo, where he taught me, it was tough love, where every time I had a question, I'm like, yo, like, how do we, like, do this or get away with this? He's like, he would tell me, Fio, which is, I'm like, what the fuck is that? He's like, figure it out. I'm like, well, tell me what the fuck it means. He's like, figure it out. And then it meant figure it out.
Yeah.
So, and he always taught me, have confidence, source your shit, and just get after it, and let them tell you no. Let them tell you that you're wrong, but always have your heart in the right place, and then you'll fucking
And annotated on the 5988.
5988 that shit. Yeah. But yeah, he was my mentor, and I appreciate him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, it's been great having you on.
Thank you, man.
We
Appreciate
got to
it.
push through like guest galore throughout this whole weekend here.
Absolutely.
But thanks for coming on, and
Yeah,
hopefully get you in studio for like a real
For
episode.
real Semper Hooah experience.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
You got to
pretty
buy your own
awesome.
shirt or mug, though.
Yeah, that's
We're not there yet.
coming drunk as fuck. Get everything online.
Well, thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You want to
You want to touch my range cock?
You want to touch the?
All right.
Just give it a little
Again?
light one. It's so rough.
Never gets old.
Once again, we apologize for the shitty quality of this recording because we are in the field.
But it's improving.
Yeah.
Ish.
And our guest this roundup is Lev. Ooh, how's
The
it going?
Leviathan.
The Leviathan.
Hey, yeah.
Kind of fresh.
It's biblical.
Because we don't do that.
It's my middle name. What can I say?
So you're kind of fresh to the military.
I mean,
Ish, a few years in.
COVID years don't count.
well, yeah. Then I
It
guess
still
I,
counts,
then I
man.
guess
Time,
Just
great
go
time
on.
in service.
Right.
yeah, I'm fresh. Yep, fresh cut daisy.
You joined a little late in the or your age, you know. For
Yeah,
Army,
I was 31.
All right. Well, that's all
31.
right. Nothing wrong.
Well, I guess I was 30 when I signed up, but 31 when I went to.
Basic.
Yeah.
I'm a little high.
Soldier of the month
I was
right
like,
here.
no. Actually, I was 31 when I signed up. And I was 32 when I went to
Okay.
basic because I was like constantly the oldest person there.
And you are a 37, good old.
I'm 30. Oh yeah.
No, 37 Fox. There,
Uh-huh.
you are a Psyop.
Yep. Psyop baby.
Cyclops. Psyops. Of course, we got a bunch of them. Because maybe we're in a Psyop even? I don't know.
We used to when we were.
I don't know.
Well, I'm just gonna jump. When we were in AIT, there was our little thing call out or whatever. Whenever you like go to attention, was mentis dominari, which means like dominate the mind. But this guy from CA used to go Mentos Dominatrix.
Sounds a whole lot better.
I
Actually.
thought it was so funny.
Yeah,
I was
love
like,
it. I love it.
yes.
Where are they putting the Mentos?
So now I always think about Mentos Dominatrix.
And then you should almost have like the Mentos song playing in the back.
Some of the best commercials.
Yeah,
Those
they
are
were.
That
awesome.
guy
Those were
on
like
the
so
bench.
uplifting.
Yeah,
full of
he
life.
he accidentally sat on the bench and he got stripes on his suit, but then he just laid on the whole bench.
Right.
Rolled it out. He had a striped suit on.
He had
it.
a
pinstripe.
really terrible suit after that.
I'm glad you remember those. Those are good.
Yeah,
Right.
you
It's
know,
us
Because you're
old
not
farts that
that
get
young.
funny.
Yeah, I love it.
that's
good.
what social media does, right? Like it recycles some of those.
The good stuff.
I just saw.
It's been so gnarly about, and they're now calling it vintage and all this other shit. And they're like, from the 90s. What do you
Yeah.
mean vintage?
Yeah.
When I think vintage is like 70s, right?
Yeah.
I love it. I just saw last week like Salute Your Shorts. Actually, this week they like posted like the Salute Your Shorts theme song.
I don't
Okay.
know.
You don't know
I
that
know
one?
what that is.
Oh, okay, whatever.
You must be way more into social media. than we are.
Nickelodeon. Come on, Camp on.
No, in
Okay.
my household, we would not have
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
all right.
So you joined a little late in life, but yeah, what, why?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
You know, I just wanted to try something new. I just really. No, you know, I think I spent too many years watching Starship Troopers, and I was like, and then I got really into Battlestar Galactica. And I was like, and I went to
Space Force was not an option yet.
Yeah, I know. Space Force wasn't a thing. I was like, what the frack?
You know, we're allowed to
You can swear it's explicit.
No, it's a
all
Battlestar
right.
Galactica joke.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
pretty
I
bad.
wasn't getting some.
All right, never mind. All right,
Jesus
all right.
Christ, this guy.
World of Warcraft. Yeah, no, I never thought I would join the army, like almost as a protest, because when I graduated from high school, it was like don't ask, don't tell. So I was like, well, I'm telling. So
He's a gay.
Oh my God, we
Yeah.
serve with gays.
yeah.
Our readiness is
You
declining.
might, but I
Don't
don't know
drink,
what that has to do with this podcast or this conversation.
So yeah, all right. Well, yeah, that's actually a good point.
So that's good. So I mean, maybe we could talk a little bit about like your perspectives as being gay in the military and kind of what your experiences are and stuff
We're
like
going
that.
down that
right?
road.
Because-
Gosh, wow. Seems so organic that we're getting there.
How did this come up?
Well,
Right?
how did this come up? Yeah. So I joined late, and I got gay married like 3 months before I.
BH and Tricare.
Yeah.
Gets them every time.
Hey, you got to do it. We were already engaged.
And
So
there goes all our listeners in the South.
yeah. Hey, sucks to suck. Yeah, sorry, we won.
We won.
You know,
Still a battle, right?
come on. Yeah, I mean, in some
Still is.
places, yeah.
Yeah.
Keep fighting.
Were you
Uganda.
apprehensive about joining the military
At that
by
point,
being gay and stuff like that? Or were you
No.
thinking about anything like
I
negative
mean,
towards you? Or?
you know, I was feeling it out because in Chicago, right? I'm from Chicago.
Okay, not originally.
No, not originally, but it's definitely like a liberal bubble inside the city. And so, and at that time, what was it, 2019, politics, all-time divisive high, right?
High stuff, yeah.
And so, I don't know, I was feeling it out, but I was actually impressed and, like, pleasantly surprised. Not even surprised, but I was like, yeah, this is fine. That's
Where are
cool.
you from originally?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
PA.
Where in
Biden
PA?
state.
The first lady went to college not far from.
What was your question, Jonesy?
Where in PA?
Oh, yeah.
We're in outside of Philadelphia.
Born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where to make the cream cheese?
where they say wooder and roof.
Oh, yes, the
Weird
Pennsylvania
shit.
Dutch.
Yeah,
So
there's
you
that.
come to gay
There's
Chicago.
Pennsylvania Dutch.
All right.
I come to gay Chicago's really gay.
Yeah, they actually have
Right.
As far
actually
as
have a
cities
pretty-
go, Chicago's pretty gay. New York's pretty gay. And then you got, like, L.A. and San Francisco, which are obviously pretty gay.
Yeah.
And then, like, Key West.
Really?
Miami. Oh, yeah.
Well, Miami, I figure, right?
Key West, you
Key
know
West?
about that?
No.
That was a.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
We love it there. It's great. It's where I went on my honeymoon. It's great.
I love it. Oh God, we're losing so
You
many
hear
fucking
that?
hillbillies.
Yeah,
I love
you
it.
hear
This is
that?
gonna be
You
great.
can't go to Key West anymore. It's
Okay.
ruined.
So-
all right?
so
And you
they
can't join
could-
the Army. I
They
just
couldn't
ruined
afford
it.
to go to Key West anyways. What
All
the
right?
fuck?
I couldn't join the Army after high school. Now you can't join the Army.
So you were
Go on.
apprehensive about joining, so you were kind of encouraged. But what were you encouraged by?
This is probably the gayest part. Was I read Pete Buttigieg's book. Do you know who Pete
shit.
Buttigieg?
Yeah, we
the
know
gay
that.
mayor.
Talk about super gay.
Yeah. I read his book.
Okay.
And he's talking about like why he joined. And I come from a military family. My dad
Okay.
was Army Ranger,
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go.
and so I grew up with all these. But by the time I'm the youngest. By the time I was born, he was already out.
Okay.
So I grew up with all these military isms
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't know were a thing until I got to basic training. And I was like, what's it? Like my dad used to say, like, hit the rack, hit the hay. He used to say, like,
Stop being such a faggot.
Oh,
no. He's laughing. That's all that matters.
Right,
I'm not laughing.
I'm not laughing. Ow, why you?
Sharp.
No, go on.
Not in my army.
So it was like, it was weird. I didn't realize how much I kind of grew up with military culture until I got there, and I was like, oh shit.
It all makes sense.
And the weird
all those words triggered.
yeah, so my mom, she like learned how to be a mom on Army bases.
Mhm.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, that's different.
You know, my older sister and my brother were both born on different bases, and so she learned how to be a mom there. And I realized one day I was eating the DFAC food, and I was like, this tastes really familiar.
Yakisoba.
I'm
It's
like,
definitely an army
holy
thing.
shit. You know, like my whole life I grew up eating like canned green beans, and like we even had the trays that the food portions were separated.
All stolen from the defect.
Yeah, like we grew up with that. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
great. This is
So,
awesome.
so was joining kind of just to make Dad proud?
No.
Finally?
No, Dad's
Okay.
dead. Dad was
Oh,
gone at
sorry.
that time,
Sorry to hear.
and he. Oh no, it's fine. Motherfucker. No, good riddance. No. He's great. He was great.
All those gay jokes.
He just couldn't have like. I'm not gonna go there. No. My dad was actually he was really cool, staunch Republican, very into like conspiracy theories. He was blind by the time he passed away. He had like a lot of health issues, but
I can't see my son being gay. It's killing me.
he's like, no, I'd rather go blind than see you with another man. No.
You'll never be in my army.
I'm glad
Well, Dad, you're missing
with
out.
this line
I
of
look
questioning.
fabulous in this uniform.
I'm sorry. I have really bad daddy issues, so these are the things
right.
I would say.
Don't we
Right.
all? So he was a real conspiracy theorist, but it was funny to the point where like they had been stocking up for the apocalypse. They didn't want me to move to Chicago because like the economy was going to collapse in 2013, and Chicago was going to all go down there. But they lived out in like the boonies in western PA, and they had water reserves. They had MREs that they've been stocking up on, even though they go bad after a couple of years. And but do they ever go bad?
Yeah.
5 to 10 years, depending on storage capacity.
Can't go bad if they're already bad.
They were convinced. They were convinced that like everybody was going to come for them, and they had like all the like this hills surrounding their place, and they had bomb powder sprinkled out on the hills. I'm like,
I'm
Dad,
sure certain 3-letter agencies would be interested.
Yeah, I'm like, Dad, who's going to shoot it, man?
Right.
Like, you're blind. What are you gonna? Who's gonna shoot? He's like, your stepmother's gonna do it. I was like, okay. Well,
Yeah.
best of luck.
You guys always had that one throwaway dog that the ATF's going to go after anyway. Right away.
Launch him out. Throwaway dog. So you grew up in a bunch of different bases. Like
No, I didn't.
he didn't.
Oh yeah.
No, I grew up. Yeah, mainly.
Get your stories straight.
I
dude.
don't know.
Get it right.
This is hard
You
to.
wouldn't last a day at MEPS with that. Get your story straight.
Yeah, I really would. No, I swear never touch your stuff.
What? I didn't have tubes in my ears. I swear.
All right, so
It's okay. It's still not service connected.
let's go back to Grinder. No. All right, so you joined late though. Like, all right,
Joined late,
Kind of. All right.
I had a
respect that,
career.
like,
I was a restaurant manager for a popular restaurant in the city, and I knew that's not what I wanted to do. I mean, I went to school for theater, not.
No.
No, get out of here. Stop.
I know.
It's either
I know.
fashion or theater.
Yeah, I mean, that's where my heart was.
Could be
but
working
not,
the streets, too.
not where the money is.
Yeah.
But no, so but I knew I didn't want to be in the restaurant forever, and there wasn't really anywhere to go there. So I wanted to do something that was like kind of do a reset.
Yeah.
So something that was going to challenge me, push me kind of outside of my comfort zone, and then also I felt like for the first time, and this is probably where the turnaround was like I felt like there was something I could contribute to the military, because I was like,
Oh, change the system within, right?
yeah,
Well,
yeah. I was like, I
yeah.
want to see more people like myself in government and in the military and in whatever. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just do it.
And why go the Psyop'r route? Is it the change thing?
No,
Fuck
it's
people's
the
minds?
fucking bonus, bro.
It's the bonus.
I love it. The bonus was legit. No, because I had worked enough shitty jobs that I didn't want the Army to pick my shitty job, so I wanted
Something
at least
cool,
to have
different.
like control over that.
Yeah.
And I liked that it was more related to the marketing side on the civilian side.
Okay.
So I figured, okay, I thought that would be maybe the next avenue that I would go into.
And now it's actually on your civilian side, you're a real estate agent or
I'm
broker.
in
sorry.
real estate,
You're a
yeah.
broker, right?
And I used the marketing.
Yeah,
I
mean,
do.
You are actually. We had a class you taught. Was it this
Yeah.
year or last year? Something like
Yeah.
recently within this fiscal year. Let's call it
yeah.
that. You did a.
We used to call it back in the day sergeant's time.
Yeah.
Right. You remember
Yeah.
those days.
Classes.
Yeah. Basically, your NCOs would, take your group of soldiers and stuff like that and just teach them like certain shit. Like
life
some
lessons.
life
life-
lessons.
and you did a
beat
really
some
good one on
Like VA loans.
VA loans.
and
yeah.
just and actually just the whole process of getting a mortgage, and which I was like, this is fucking finally a class. Like this is the shit they should be teaching in high school, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought it was like, and you owe your shit. And how long you been doing this now?
So I actually got my first in 2016, like my first big boy job was working for a really successful agent as his executive assistant. And
Code word for fluffer.
as his as his private secretary. Wore a French maid outfit every day. It was really kind of strange.
That wasn't on the job description either. Yeah.
He was the love of my life. No, no, but it was this successful guy in real estate who taught me a lot about business and finance, but was also simultaneously one of the most miserable people I'd ever met.
Okay.
In what he was doing, he's a great guy, but in what he was doing, because he was doing like 4 hours of cold calling a day, and I was like, oh, that's sales, like that's terrible. I could not. But I learned a lot about about business. So I got my background in that, started off in that, and then when I came back from training, I was still licensed because I was a licensed assistant, and so I just jumped back into it, and I joined a top producing team, and I just kept learning more stuff about how people do it.
No, that's good stuff.
I mean, like I said, that class you taught, I was like, I love it because
you
like,
own a lot of.
yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I'm like, no, I can't answer the question. Let them
Right,
answer.
right,
Like,
right.
like, what is this? Like, you did so fucking well. I love the fact that you use a chalkboard too while you taught that too, and
Yep.
you were writing shit instead of doing PowerPoint crap.
Yeah, and as a person that's gone
Yeah.
through the VA loan process and whatever else, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, actually everything he's talking about checks
It was
out, right?
Great class for the Joes,
Right.
like, and
To take advantage of the benefits that are out
Yeah.
there too, or at least make a knowledgeable decision, right?
Yeah.
And just like you did it so well, like you know your shit. I'm like, oh man, this guy presents the excellence of it.
Yeah, I think with anything, right? People think that it's more complicated than it is.
Yeah.
And then once you just break it down, it's really simple, and you just, you
It does
take
help when you
away-
do it every goddamn day, though.
Yeah,
Right.
True.
right.
Yeah.
True, but it's
Compared-
like you could
Like a
argue it-
DD93, I can fill that shit out blindfold.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
film out of a goddamn fucking drill. Just got called up here in the goddamn range. You need to fill this out. I'm like, I just did this last drill.
Right. I was talking to somebody from the other, because we're here with another unit, everyone. I was talking to somebody from that, and they were like, what do you do most of the time? I was like, S1.
Yeah, fill out fucking
It's in
paperwork.
S1
Right.
every single time.
We need to get an S1 person on next.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I need 5 soldiers.
Please.
That was good.
He'd be a
Well,
great guest.
How long you plan on staying in the military?
Ooh.
Cutting it out short, or
Yeah, I'm thinking. I've toyed with like different routes because there are a lot of opportunities in the military that I've thought about. I took the D-Lab, like the language test, and I did well on that. So I was like, oh, language school would be really cool. But it's a long commitment, and being out of the city, like when you run your own business, it's really kind of
Well, it'll crash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can't. If I had
I
a
know.
salaried position, so that's been a real juggle because usually, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind when I'm not here, and then I get here and I'm like, oh, this is, oh shit, like these are my buddies, like, oh, this is
It's
cool,
fun.
oh yeah, and then I go back and I'm like, fuck, I'm behind, I gotta do a
it
lot of
really
work,
it
so-
fucks your
Right.
shit. Especially that's one thing. Like for any of our listeners that haven't been in the reserves, National Guard, anything like that, it's a tough life to live because you're not. The balance of it. That's the hard part. It really is. It's like, oh, I got to do this, and that. Like, dude, I get it. Like, and for those guys that talk shit about the reserves, you got no fucking clue.
Right.
Unless you fucking live this life. I've been active duty and a reservist, and I tell you, it's a whole different lifestyle. I get it.
It's way different when you're doing it every single day versus
Yeah.
now juggling
Juggling
two
that.
separate careers.
Yeah,
And
you're
and then
doing
like
the-
trying to stay proficient.
Yeah, like
You know what I
Jonesy,
mean?
man.
It's like-
Jonesy was a reservist, but now he's a full timer, so he gets he knows the difference of it all and that shit.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Anyway,
Yeah, but
love
you did ask. I just thought about something you asked at the beginning, like what made me decide to do it.
Yeah.
And there's a part of it I'm not being honest about too, which is like, actually a big part of it was kind of like a fuck you, but more so in the sense of I felt like people used like politically, people used the military as like, oh, our troops, like I felt like it was very much on the conservative side of things, that it was like a special, almost like the next level of being a U.S. citizen. Like once you serve,
yeah,
then
we're
you,
special.
yeah. So I
you
was
definitely
like,
are special.
but like as a liberal,
That thing you do with your
know,
tongue.
as like a gay liberal in Chicago, it's like, you're never,
You don't
I-
fit that profile.
Well, I
right?
wanted to like take that away from them. I wanted to be like, well, actually, I'm in the military, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So-
you are. That is different.
So do you
It
get
is
a lot of
different.
shock and like going back to let's say Boys Town or whatever else, and they're like, oh shit, you're in the military? Like, oh my god, don't they like beat you and harass you? And
Oh my God, they're like, well,
oh yeah, thank you for your service.
They're like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
The military.
It's so
Yeah.
gay
Blow-
here.
blows
and
for
I love
They're,
it.
they're de-blousing. Like,
Is it
right
Squid
when I walk in, and it's like, oh my God, my husband, like all the time, he gets that. They're like, oh my God, your husband's a soldier. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I bet the gay stuff's real fun with the uniforms.
Yeah.
So
We lost another 10,000
so
listeners.
all around, it's a win. It's a win.
Have you felt any negativity being gay in the military from your time in? Because I mean, you've
Just
done
from hanging out with
well,
us.
but you've done a couple
I
rotations.
mean, yeah, you've dropped the F-bomb like what 3 times in this conversation.
Oh, is that actually hurtful? Oh, no.
You know.
That's what I do.
And it's kind of weird because I mean, we all grew up in that time, like the pre-2000s, you know, early
Everybody would
90s,
talk
where
about it.
you know everything was
Oh,
gay,
yeah.
or,
Gay was a joke, or
you
Yeah.
know,
Fag
the
meant-
F-bomb,
fag,
you know,
fag meant
was-
retarded, you know, that kind of thing. But you can't say retarded.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah, you
say
can't-
any of
you
that.
can't say
And then
that one
like
anymore.
gay became like the main insult for like just it was like a umbrella term for everything. Like, oh, that's so gay.
I grew up
Right,
in a
because it
time-
wasn't even like, you know, homosexual gay. It was just like, oh, that's just gay.
I grew up in a time
right?
where you could say shit in a funny way and people didn't get offended. Or maybe they did, but they didn't say it out loud. I don't
kept it in the closet.
know. Yeah, yeah, maybe
No?
that's what they did.
Maybe because
Maybe fuck your feelings.
maybe because if they did get offended, they'd get the shit kicked out of them. So they
But
probably did.
going back to the question, it's like because you've been on a couple rotations, even outside of our unit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, have you felt any of that like pressure or negativity come down at you by being gay, or has generally like people been supportive and like
I think in
hashtag
general,
ally or whatever? You know?
Yeah, I think in general, the like cadre and everybody that I've worked with has been support. Not like I wouldn't say it's not an issue. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not like somebody. I've had sometimes people like someone will say something stupid, not even directed at me, and I've had like, and she'll be like, that don't know me, be like, are you okay with that? But that's just because they didn't like that person that said it.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a shit. You know,
They're making a
realize-
bigger issue of it.
yeah,
than it is.
yeah.
I
Like
joke-
they would like me to not be okay with this. So that
I
could-
joke a lot with
Right.
you,
Yeah.
know. And I know because we have talks a lot on
Yeah.
offline and shit.
And I feel like
Yeah,
he
I
never
hate when I see
suppresses.
no,
his
but I love
level
it
of
because
gay.
but I love it the fact
Right,
that like
it's
when I
just-
say something stupid in front of people, he just like makes me feel like a piece of shit. Like this, he
Absolutely.
makes me feel like this big. I'm like, damn it, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
And we'll go off to the side. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, no, I'm fucking with you. I'm like, I know, but it still hurts.
I think that's the only time I've ever seen you feel bad about
No,
something.
I do because he does it.
It's not
really.
real.
He does like what my wife.
It's just
does.
for the camera.
No,
he doesn't
it-
feel bad.
No, I really do because he does what my wife does to me all the time. She's just like, oh, really? I go, oh. It's just like,
So now
Yeah. So you're faking it.
now I'm a woman like your
no, it's not
wife.
faking it.
Now I'm not man enough for you. God.
Oh, it looks pretty good from here.
It's-
All right.
Oh, your watch is 5 minutes off, by the way.
Yeah. Nice watch, bro. Look, dude, it's been a pleasure having you on. If we could get you in real studio,
That'd
that'd
be
be
great.
goddamn
Laundromat.
Thank God no one's been doing any laundry yet since here. We did put a out of order sign on front of the door.
We did.
I gotta do my laundry.
It came off
Yeah.
one of the machines.
But
I feel like I'm on the fucking Muppets right now.
Right,
You guys
yeah.
are just like
that's what we do.
it's pretty good. I like it. I mean, I'm entertained.
Range cock.
Range cock.
Hey.
There it is. So great for the audio. Thanks for coming on,
Hey,
dude.
thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
That was
I'd
great.
love to
Always a
give you
slice.
actually in
Any
the
chance
studio.
I can get to like spread the agenda, that is what I'm here to do. I'm trying to convert people. Hopefully more people will come out and become gay because of this. And I'm hoping that more people are gonna choose this lifestyle
Yeah.
after this.
J-Bot's in the background
It
going,
was the, the best choice I ever made was to be gay in a conservative family.
See, I
in
told you it
town.
was a choice.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope more
It is
people
a
will make
choice.
that decision. Not only, I mean, I'm a protected class, and I also get like military benefits. I got a great medical plan. Eat your heart out. That's
Except when the
Hearts
AIDS
out,
kicks
America.
in.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
why you joined before.
Right. So fucking much. We lost another 10,000 listeners.
But you might have gained some.
We might, yeah.
Hey.
Right. That's hey.
Yeah.
Come on. It'll work. Anyway.
This show's now being broadcast at like
How do we-
soundbar.
It'll be great. They're gonna show. It'll be you
Right.
know, it'll be popping at the clubs now. I love it.
Who's that Pete?
Now we're
He's sick.
sponsored by Dolce and Gabbana.
Yeah. Sponsored by KY or whatever.
His and his.
They're both fire. Oh, we have no soundboard in the field. Oh, damn. All right, dude. Once again, dude, love having you on. Can't wait to get you in the actual studio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It still smells in the laundromat.
It smells everywhere in this barrack.
It's fucking rough, dude.
I'm about to light a match.
Does
and
it
hope-
smell on the other side of the wing?
Oh, I don't know.
It's even worse because that other sister unit of ours is over there.
It's
But you came from there.
Non-binary sister. Yeah.
and our guest this episode,
Is the one, the only, the legend, the man, Kak.
Tom Selleck. God, I love that mustache. It is fucking.
You know, my
gorgeous.
wife watches you every day on Blue Bloods. She kind of has a thing for Solid, by the way.
Yeah, doesn't everybody, but
So you've been in the Army for a minute.
a minute and a half, yes.
Yeah, I gotta say, what year did you join?
Came in June of 83.
83.
Got out in 87 with the intention of going to college, coming back as an officer.
Mm-hmm.
After 4 years, I went on to get my master's because I had the opportunity, and then I tried to come back, and that was during the Clinton years where they weren't taking anybody. So I went back to school for another degree, started teaching, and then after 911 is when I had the opportunity to come back again.
So, okay, let's rewind a little bit back here.
Yeah.
When you joined back, when you came in, what did you start out as, MOS-wise?
11 Bravo was with the 82nd Airborne Infantry
Oh,
Division.
shit.
Outstanding.
We know you actually weren't you in?
With another character that's in our
Yeah,
unit, right?
unit, right?
No,
Back-
did you guys serve together? The Big Bird?
The Big Bird. Call him
No,
Big Bird.
actually, believe it or not, I think Big Bird came a little bit after me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we might have been at Bragg maybe at the same time in the mid-'80s, but I never knew him.
Gotcha.
The only other person who was there with me at that time, I would just call him Big T, Tommy. He was there the last
Okay.
year with me. I never knew him, though.
Gotcha.
So 83 till
87.
87, and then a little break there.
Break, college, teaching, and then after 911 came back.
Okay.
What'd you teach?
Philosophy and religious studies.
Outstanding.
So you're there for Grenada. You missed Gulf 1.
No, I missed Grenada.
Oh, you missed Grenada. Sorry, you just missed Grenada.
I was in
by 2 weeks. By 2 weeks.
I was actually in basic training when Grenada was going on.
Okay.
I missed it. That
Right.
weekend would have been awesome. All right, so you go there. All right, there. You skip Gulf 1, but 9/11 happens, and then boom. All right, you go in. All right, let's start from that point.
Sure.
Yeah, 9/11, you come back and you're coming back on the reserve side. You go back active.
I tried to come back active because I wanted to go infantry, but we couldn't do it at the time. So I came back in Psyop'r. I went to the recruiter, said, "What's the fastest way to get back to combat?" They said, "Well, there's this thing called Psyop'r." I said, "I remember Psyop'r when I was at Bragg, but I really wasn't sure." So they said, "Yeah, there's this battalion deploying." So signed up. Sure enough, we deployed to Iraq 05, 06. Back again 07, 08, but I got medevaced out in 07, and then back 9 to 10.
So you were definitely in those phases of the war where things were very spicy.
Very. As a matter of fact, the first time we were in Iraq, we were in a section nobody had ever heard about. It's called Talafr. We got sent there 3 days before we were supposed to go to Baghdad. They said, we're going to take her to this area called Talafr up in west Iraq. When we got there, nobody knew what Psyop'r was. Nobody. We were we were supporting Colonel McMaster, who later became NSA McMaster.
Yeah.
And they had no idea what we did for the first 2 months. We were doing our job, and then I sent my first report analysis up, and after that, McMaster had us out there in the city. I was out there 10 months out of 12-month deployment.
Oh, shit.
Because he found out what an asset Psyop'r was.
Fucking great. So I heard medevac, though.
Yeah, that was during the second tour. As a matter of fact, the date today was the 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
March 27th of 2007 was the biggest one-day kill in Iraq or Afghanistan. 2 trucks came in the city with about 20,000 pounds of explosives. The first one went out of control, crashed into the wall. The second one went into the city of the area where people were expecting the food truck, which that was it.
Mm-hmm.
2 brothers stayed on board. One of the other guys left, blew up, killed about 185 people outright, more people after that. And then later that night, you had Shia police who were running around pulling Sunnis out of their homes, killing them because they thought they were responsible for the bombing. But it turns out it was Shias who did it anyway, trying to start a
Right.
civil war.
More sectarian violence.
Right. So
And if I recall correctly, that was almost like the beginning of all the sectarian tensions, right?
it started just a little bit before that, but during that time, it really kicked off a lot. And The next 3 days, we were trying to figure out what happened. We were able to find out who did it, why they did it, where they were at, and we sent out the report for a team to go out and get them. They asked us to get out there and continue to do work between the sheiks, civil affairs, and some of the NGOs to try and clean up this area.
Right.
And every now and then you would hear explosions because when this bomb, the IED went off, or truck bomb, there was a lot of IEDs in the city that weren't detonated. So now as the bulldozers are coming through and clearing the area, a lot of those were going off, as well as propane tanks. So you had no idea what was what.
Yeah.
So 2 days before that, the day after the big explosion, I got my first TBI in that tour because we were trying to get a man pack back to the city center mayor's area. So me and the CA guy, we went through this mob, about 5,000 people, to get to our Humvee to get the man pack. So we come back with it, and riot was going on, so what do the Iraqi soldiers do? Start shooting in the air, clear everybody. So we get to the bottom of this crowd, and we had to go up about 15 flights of stairs to get to the mayor's office. Start going up there, the CA guy just vanished.
Yeah, deuces, I'm out, brother.
I'm out of here.
So I'm coming up there, I got this man pack on me, I'm trying to get through. So when he gets to the top of the stairs, and I'm here, the gate has to open up this way. So as the gate opens, all the people move back. I get hit, I go head over heels, bam, 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 down. So now I'm laying in the bottom of this thing, and I know he hasn't seen me, right? Nobody knows I'm there.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, I got to get up and I got to get inside, otherwise who knows what's going to happen. So I fight my way back up there, get out of the way, move, and the Iraqi people thought, man, did this American just get shot? And, are they going to blame us?
Right.
Got out of the way. As soon as I got inside the gate, I knew I was safe. That adrenaline was gone. Collapsed. My buddies come over, and the first thing they told me was that we were checking you for exit wounds because of all the firing, but didn't realize I wasn't shot. They took me inside. I think I must have been out for about 10, 12 minutes because I must have hit 4 times on my head, just going head over heels.
Sure.
Now, the funny thing is, or the sad part is, when I came to, I looked in my pants, and I was trying to find my camera that I was using the day before to record a lot of the deaths that happened, these kids and everything, and camera was gone.
It's already out on the market.
You probably.
Yeah.
So
You got to buy it back for 20.
yeah, exactly. So that was the first TBI that day, and then 2 days later, when these explosions were going off, I grabbed my interpreter to throw him behind during one of them. As I was throwing him back, tore the bicep and tendon off my bone. Fell back, hit my head again. Next thing I know, they throw me in the Humvee. We go back to Fob Sykes. I'm thinking, oh, it's no big deal. They're like, no, you need surgery. Took me to Mosul, Kuwait, Germany, back to Bragg. Had surgery. I'm thinking, a month or two. They're like, no, it's going to take like 12 months to heal. I was like, what?
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, so they said to me, we have this new program going on. You don't have to stay at Bragg. It's called CBHCO. Had to do with going back home of record, and they let you heal there.
Okay.
So they sent me to Great Lakes.
Oh,
Healed there for about 12 months.
They actually did a lot of that in Nam, too.
Right.
There's
Because
actually-
with Scott Eilert and his dad
wrote the
in the
book.
book.
Man, that was that's something they used to do back in the day too. But they did stop doing it, and they went back. Yeah, so that's crazy. Holy shit, though. All right, so that's pretty.
Yeah, and after I
fucking
healed,
rough.
went back to Iraq in 2009.
I'm ready for
Did they
some
use
more.
any of the cadaver tendons or anything to reattach? Or
No, what
all
they
organic?
did was they cut a line through here. They pulled the tendon back down, put a hole in the bone, put a screw in there, and the bicep, and I guess that screw then becomes bone later on.
Yeah.
So,
technology?
yeah, unbelievable. All I remember was I was in charge of that morphine when I was recovering.
Absolutely.
Fuck, this
And now
feels
you
good.
have a scar to pick up chicks anytime you'd want.
Hey,
right?
let me tell you something, how dangerous it was at that time. When I got back on base after the explosion, they threw me a pack of about 40 hydrocodone, whatever you want to call them.
Sure.
The good old
When they
days.
put me on the C-130 to go down to Kuwait, they threw me another pack. In Kuwait, by the time I got back to the States, I had over 400 pills of that stuff.
So you got a side hustle going on.
I
All
could
right.
have, but I was thinking to myself, how dangerous would that have been? I mean, you know how many people easily got caught up on
Oh
that stuff?
yeah.
Right.
But I had 400 of that stuff because they just kept asking. There was no prescriptions like, oh, you're hurting. We don't know where you came from. Here.
Yeah.
Do you still have some of that?
No, that's gone. That's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering. Yeah.
So I'm sure in such a really long career, there's plenty of shenanigans that happen along the way. Anything that kind of really sticks out is kind of like one of those like, oh man, to be young again.
Yes. So I'm not proud of this. But
We never are.
this occurred in 1985. I was stationed in the Sinai Peninsula, part of the Multinational Force and Observers South Camp. And I'm 19 years old now,
Sure.
young, away from home. We go up to Tel Aviv for a 4-day pass.
Oh,
So,
Jonesy.
The land of your peoples.
so, and actually, before that, we were down in another city called Eilat, right on the southern border of Israel and Jordan. And we were out in these cafes, eating and drinking, all these beautiful Israeli women, plus tourists, a lot of.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're sitting there drinking. I'm sitting at this table with, had to be one of the most beautiful Israeli women I've ever seen. And like 5 guys were talking, drinking. At one point, I was like, man, my stomach's getting hot. I'm going to have to chuck this stuff up. So I got up and I walked behind this building and I found a faucet. I turned it on, put my head underneath. And then I heard some girl saying, are you okay? Like in broken English. And I look up and I was like, man, 2 more beautiful women. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just getting this, trying to get my head cooled off. It's the last thing I remember. Next thing I know, I wake up the next day in my hotel room. I'm in bed. My clothes are washed and folded, sitting in a chair.
Rocking the biggest erection he's
And I
ever
was like,
had.
I'm by myself, and I was like, man, that was either the greatest night or the most embarrassing, humiliating. Thank God there was no cell phone cameras back
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
But I have no, I mean, that was like, wow, you got to get a hold of yourself,
Yeah.
Did you have the mustache back then?
No, I did not.
Wow, so you're still rocking it.
But
pretty
I needed
well.
its own date, so I was like,
Yeah.
can't
When-
compete.
When did you start rocking that thing, man? That thing is
When I
solid.
went to Iraq, I knew that in Iraq, mustache perception of reality is something that.
Saddam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
legit.
Well, just in general, facial hair among
It's-
Muslims,
Respect
Right.
and scary.
And the funny thing was, I had
Or
a lot
sexy.
of guys with me who were like, we're trying to grow it, but it wasn't going to grow right. So I
Right.
was like, you better just get rid of it. Otherwise, it's either you got it or you don't have
Yeah.
it.
Right.
And people think it's a joke, but as a lot of you know, being in Iraq, having a mustache, being in Afghanistan, having a beard really plays to the culture and to the
Yeah.
cheers with all the men out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
They'll
you-
actually be willing to talk to you.
And you grow a
Yeah.
hell of a stash, though.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
fucking solid. I mean, I've seen you around the block for. It's the first time actually today we've got to really talk.
All about
the
Greek
first
food.
I know, man. You got me hungry all today. Jesus Christ, you got family everywhere in the city, running a bunch of shit. But I've seen you around the block for a long time. Every like, oh yeah, hello, this and that, and I'm like, dude, I fucking stash. Every time I see it, I'm like,
Right. It's got a certain appeal.
no, because I could grow one, but man, my wife fucking hates it. So
Same
I-
here. Because I
well-
really get that old school Polish where you twist it
Hey,
out
it-
and all that.
I could get it like that, but it doesn't look as good as it looks on. Well, obviously you do look like Tom Selleck.
Well,
You're
even
rocking
though
it
it's
pretty
like the
well.
first week of spring, he's still rocking that glorious, glorious olive tan.
Yeah, that
and
the
everything,
Greek, the
right?
Greek.
You got to
know?
try it. That's in the blood.
That's right.
Well, dude, it's been a pleasure having you on for
Thank
our
you.
short little field stuff here.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, we get you in studio instead of this makeshift bullshit.
Yeah,
we've
no,
got
I
going
like
on
it.
here.
It's part of what military is about, right?
Yeah, and another good soldier rocking his rifle. Unlike me
Absolutely.
and Pete that are just
Hey, the
somebody
weapons
else
are
has it.
secured.
Someone's watching it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're in good hands.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we'll catch you guys next episode. Hey.